Good afternoon, yes, another video from Aquaspumante. This one on what to do and what not to do when cleaning your Type D and other wire mesh enclosed glass soda siphons. So what we've got here is a line of 4 soda siphons of the Type C and Type D varieties. These are the 2 main types of Type D here on this side, and then here are examples of the Type C. And those are distinguishable by the Type C's usually has a grey pewter head on top, although sometimes for the more premium models at the time these heads were plated with nickel, which would have been shiny originally, but now is generally a sort of browny golden colour, and it's difficult to clean that properly. You can do it, but it's pretty difficult. Usually it's quite pitted. These clean up quite well. This one has been cleaned a little bit. And as you can see for the type, let's take the head off. There we are. So for the Type C's, these had a aluminium top cap like that, because when aluminium was first isolated in, I think, around about late 1880s, it was almost as valuable as gold. So actually this was quite a high status item in the 1910s and 20s, because aluminium was quite still expensive then. So this would have been polished up, and it also had an aluminium neck skirt and an aluminium key, aluminium alloy key, and that probably would have been polished originally. You can see someone before they bought this had also had a go at polishing this. Now that's really the subject of this video, is what not to do with these. Another observation here is you can just about see on this one that the max fill line here, which in the early ones was made out of red paper, resin bonded paper I think. This one, probably because of cleaning and bleaching by sunlight, has faded and is also starting to break up, and sometimes these are, well, they've totally broken up and almost all of it's fallen out, and there may be just a few pieces left stuck under the glass. This has a different version of the dust cap. Now when you're cleaning these, I'd be very careful when you polish the neck skirt here, because if you use a abrasive powder based polish, now in Britain one of the famous brands is Brasso. That's basically a suspension of fine abrasive particles in paraffin, really, that leaves behind on rough surfaces particles of fine white powder. And in the case of the Type D, I think you can see here on this one, someone's polished the chrome neck skirt up with Brasso or some other similar polish, and they've spilt some onto the mesh here. And I think you can see that it's got caught underneath the mesh, and it's really difficult to remove. Really quite difficult to remove. So what you can do with that, you may be able to use the cleaning technique in one of our videos, where you use dishwasher tablets dissolved in water and a lot of scrubbing action to actually remove that, perhaps with a toothbrush. You may be able to get that out. And this one, this is an even worse example. You can see that someone's had a go at polishing all over bits of the mesh here after they've done the a reasonable job on the aluminium neck skirt, but it looks pretty tatty, especially compared with one where, okay, the glass is dirty on this one, a bit cloudy, but that looks much better compared with this. Now if you use our cleaning solution, which is outlined in one of our other videos on that one, that would look really good. That would look really good. Bit of careful polishing of this so as not to spread dust particles onto here. Again, it would look really good, either as a feature piece or as a working soda siphon. If you want to send your soda siphon, complete soda siphon to us, when you have it reconditioned, we can do everything for you and test it as one complete item, clean up the glass. If the red max fill line is missing, we can replace that too by inserting a new max fill line tape underneath the mesh at the right level and carefully gluing it into place against the glass. We don't paint them in, so that is actually, the replacement would be a tape of the correct sort of width that goes underneath the glass, and you fill it up to just at the top of the red line. That's how it was originally designed to be used. Don't fill it above the red line. You need that gas space because it's a safety feature. It allows somewhere for the gas to collect, and then as it expands it forces the water out through the head. So that's really it. When you're cleaning these, follow the directions on our earlier cleaning video using either special glass cleaning solutions, or you can get a pretty good result with dishwasher tablet. But do remember that when you're using dishwasher tablet, most of them contain enzymes for digesting protein and grease and things like this, so use plastic gloves. So what we advise is you actually just purchase some food grade vinyl polyurethane gloves used by the food preparation industry, and just use those to when you do the work on this. Otherwise you will, if you're sensitive, you will get a rash on your hands and they'll go a bit red because the enzymes will start to try and digest your skin. Not good. But if you wash those off with plenty of clear water, and we would recommend demineralized water or water from, if you don't want to use demineralized water because it's expensive, in bulk it certainly is, you can use the water that comes off comes from a dehumidifier or an air conditioning unit if you're in the States. That's relatively commonly available. You just need to collect fresh water that's been newly condensed from a dehumidifier or an air conditioning unit, and you can use that to rinse these down as one of the final steps after you've been using your detergents or cleaning products on it. And that's because the condensed water won't contain any minerals that, as the water dries on the glass, won't leave any little white spots or shadowy marks or misty marks on the glass. I think that's really it. Don't make the mistake that these people did by using a powder-based polishing agent on the mesh, because it will look awful afterwards. Be really careful. If you can, mask up perhaps with tape or something like that, low tack tape, but we would not advise that. We would advise that you use something that can be more easily got off, so perhaps polishing pads or something like this, which are not going to be shedding dust, abrasive into the mesh. So that's really the end of this video. Avoid the mistakes that these previous owners made, and don't use a powder-based polishing agent like Brasso. There's also the fact that Brasso contains kerosene or paraffin oil and it smells, so it actually taints the water. Try and find one which is water-based, perhaps something that's used by the cooking industry or the silverware cleaning industry, which is based on water, which can be rinsed away. Okay, well, thanks very much for watching this video. This has been brought to you by Aqua Spumante.